able to locate him in the natural world.
Right, okay.
Illogical, my view is. But at the same time, I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I have nothing in the natural world to establish the existence of a creator, how then do I know there is a creator?
Okay.
Now, my logic was leading me to a certain destination. That being, okay, now I have confidently convinced myself that a creator, if there is one, is certainly not to be found in the natural world.
Okay.
Agreed.
Right.
Well, if he is not to be found in the natural world, how then am I going to establish the existence of a creator?
Right.
Second step came. Logically speaking, if there is a creator, yes, and the definition, I use the word definition, of a creator is one who is all-powerful, one is the one who created everything. I said, well, if that is the case, then logic is dictating to me that in contrast to a creator, I would necessarily be the inferior one.
Right.
Yeah? Okay. Not in a negative way, okay? But I would be inferior because I am in the position of not knowing everything, in opposition to this being who knows everything, according to the understanding. But if that is the case, then it also logically applies why I cannot find him in the natural world in the physical form.
Right.
Yeah? Not the signs that we would consider, but in the physical form, I can't find him.
Okay.
Fine. Now, the next step, if there is a creator, then necessarily there must be a communication from the creator to the human being.
Right.
I'm restricting it to the human being, yeah?
Okay.
There has to be. And if there is, where is it?
Okay.
And if it did come, not only do I need to find it, I need to then assess what it has, which other writings or other sayings of sages will not have.
Right, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So, second process came in. You now are looking at the contenders, yeah? And that is what I did. I mean, there are many minor ones, okay? There is a book that I have, and it's the title is The Anthology of World Religions.
Okay, yeah.
So it basically covers every potential claimant,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
But they have got their own books,
For sure.
yeah? So you have to go through all those. One by one as an elimination process, yeah? Because you have to look at what criteria this superior being has provided,
Right.
which automatically is not one that a human being or a collective group of human beings can actually meet. Yeah? Otherwise there wouldn't be any difference.
Right, okay.
And then you know for sure that this is a man-made construct.
Right, so what convinces you that, let's say, Islam is not a man-made construct?
Right. Number one, the study of the book itself, okay? When you look at it not on a superficial level, yeah, look at the books in depth, my view is that the evidence speaks for itself,
Okay.
contained within the Quran. Yeah.
Right.
Now, I have done that with other books because what I necessarily did, if this message from on high has come, then the Creator will have established a criteria wherewith to establish that this is not man-made.
Okay.
Yeah. So I looked at the biblical one. I looked at the other ones also. They also contain criteria. Yeah. But using the criteria and assessing the evidence, they failed. The one that didn't was the Quran.
Okay.
Now, there is a standard here. However, I took it a bit further than that. If, for example, the Quran talks about, do you not consider the heavens? Do you not consider many things? The natural world.
Right.
Do you not consider the birds? How do they fly?
Okay.
Yeah? Now, as I'm reading all this, I'm also looking at what evidence is available through all the research that we human beings have done.
Yeah.
Yeah? So if you look at physicists, you look at ornithologists, you look at experts in bird migration,
Right.
yeah? You start looking at that evidence and it tells you, so for example, the European robin, yeah? It migrates,
Yeah.
but what does it use to be able to go to where it needs to go?
Yeah.
One, just as an example, you have got the shearwater bird, which traverses 8,000 miles.
Okay.
But these are fledglings, they've just been born. As soon as they learn how to fly, off they go. 8,000 miles in a sort of 8.
Right. Okay.
Now the question is, how is this happening? A natural explanation is provided. Yeah, that look, for example, the European robin. Okay, a professor slipped my mind. A professor has written a book in which he looks at how potentially these birds must be using the magnetic.
Yeah, I've heard the feeling. I
Yeah.
know it, yeah.
You know
They can
about-
sense the magnetic field of the Earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the magnetic field is not something that can be physically used by what we would consider to be natural selection. Yeah? It cannot be utilized.
It might be able to.
Okay, tell me how.
Well, I'm not an expert.
No,
in
of course, we are just having
biologist,
a
but,
conversation, yeah.
The premise, as I understand it,
Yeah.
is that mutations cause random change, and if the random change gives a slight benefit, then it will be passed on, and that's the propagation of evolution.
Absolutely.
And, I'm not sure
Yeah.
whether you agree with
No.
evolution or not, but
I can see, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you see, when you are talking about mutations themselves, yes, you are talking an internal change. But in order for that change to take place, the first thing that would have to be within the body of that particular bird is this connection with the magnetic field. How? Because you must remember that the magnetic field is so weak, yeah, that it has to be below what we would call the normal atomic level.
okay.
So how?
Well, I would like to go this way.
Yeah,
So
sure.
It's like this. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
No
but
problem.
Are you saying that if we can't prove this to be a part of nature, then it must have been from God?
No. I'm not
No.
God of the gaps. No.
Right, okay.
No.
Well, that's good. We get that out the way.
That's out of the way.
Okay, so what is it?
Like I said, once I have established the message itself, I am also looking at the evidence it is saying to consider.
Okay.
Yeah. So when it is talking about, look at how the birds fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do they fly? The Creator is holding them up. Well, He's not literally holding them up, is He?
No.
What are the mechanics? There they go. Those birds there. They are flying. What are the mechanics behind that? Now it is plain obvious that the Creator in the Quran is encouraging humanity to go and discover the natural world. There's an actual reason for this. The Quran then actually establishes for humanity, it says, we will show you on the horizons and within yourselves until it is manifest to you, this is the truth. Now, what is it actually saying? Are we as human beings going to get to a stage, bearing in mind that this is supposed to have been brought down 1,400 odd years ago,
Yeah.
when it said, we will show you on the horizons and within yourselves that this is the truth. Now, what is it that we in the past 1,400 years have discovered about our internal workings? But it mentioned it. It says we human beings are going to do that.
Okay.
Why? Because this is what the Creator is intending for us.
Okay.
But having said that, it also says on the horizons. Now, the choice of word is odd. Yeah. If me and you are looking here, what would be the horizon? It is the furthest point that we can see.
Yeah.
But if we travel to there, what happens to the horizon?
Yeah, the Earth's a sphere.
It moves away. So basically, a process of search and find, we are going to undertake as human beings, which
Right,
is
I
what
understand.
we have done. But further that, like I said, if the Quran says, as an example, humanity, okay, is the best that has been created. Amongst them, they are a group who are the best because they are attending to a particular system which is totally fair and totally just.
Okay.
But the question is this: if as human beings I was traversing the earth and I came across somebody who is not of my color, should I be aggressive with them? Now, there are instances in the Quran which I would consider to be far, far ahead of what we would call the time that it was revealed. So, as an example, it says, the Creator is the one who gave us our colors and our languages.
Okay.
What has that got to do with the price of fish? Why put a statement about colors and races and languages? Well, today in the United Kingdom, we have the Race Relations Act.
Okay.
Why was that brought into law? Because human beings are based on color were hating each other. Okay? Now, the Quran goes a bit further and it says, "O mankind," addressing the whole of humanity, "we have created you into nations and tribes," which we are. Yeah? We don't want to, but we are. We automatically seem to allay ourselves with the ones we are comfortable with for some odd reason. But these are why. It says, "O mankind, we have created you into nations and tribes so that you may respect each other and not despise each other." Now, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the evidence, yeah, and it is all fitting. But there's a further step. You see, what I would call, for me, the clincher. My ability to reason has brought me to the stage, even if I say, for example, the theory of evolution, okay, in its physical form, has brought me to where I am today. Whether it be natural selection or any other method that has allowed me to come here today, as I was discussing with a lady earlier on, my ability, which we call the subconscious, okay, allows us very clearly to extend beyond what we would call the natural world.
Okay.
What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, I know that I can use the word, my essence tells me it is wrong.
Right.
The mechanics of the body are not telling me it is wrong. What is the essence that I have? What is that element of consciousness that I can't touch, I can't feel, but I know it is there?
Okay.
It has taken me one step further, and that step is the fact that I am going to die. Now, I am certain, looking at the evidence, that if I go through life, I get old, decrepit, can't move a muscle, can't move anything, yeah, all I will have is the memory, if it is still there. Otherwise, even that is going to disappear. Okay? The Quran interestingly states that, you know, we will grow you into a strong being, and then we will take you back as though you are going back to childhood. And this is what old age is doing to us. Yeah? Well, wait a minute, there's an extension to this. And the natural extension is that once I die, is that the end of me? My contention would be guaranteed no. Based on the current evidence that we possess, it is very clear that we do have something within us which potentially, it's neither here nor there, potentially is extending our life beyond what we would call the normal life. But you see, the issue then I faced, I'll finish, and I know you want to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? The issue I face is a simple one. All this has already been confirmed in the Quran, and some of it, I looked at the evidence and the Quran confirmed it. So both ways, it clearly establishes that there is an intelligence behind everything that I can perceive, not only within my locality, but for as far as I can understand, or we collectively as human beings can discover.
Okay. Right. Well, so you said that you have evidence for life extending after death.
No, I said it's either here or there. I said, look, I'm looking at my essence. Now, I just